Want to start off today's show with a poll question. Who is your favorite Philadelphia 76er of all time? Now, the old heads might go Dr. J, maybe even Charles Barkley. My generation, there's only one answer. It's Allen Iverson. But the young Bulls might go with Joel Embiid. Either way, drop me a name in the comment section, and let's talk some Sixers hoops right now. This is Philadelphia 76ers Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Chase Sr. Let's chop it up and talk some ball. On the docket for today, according to Shams Charania, the Sixers did check in on Kevin Durant. Well, take a look at that report. Skinny James Harden, a picture out there on the internet that might be a little bit concerning to some, but for me, he's in better shape, so I'm cool with it. And Tyrese Maxey continues to be a Philadelphia legend. First, though, haven't put a video on the channel in a couple of days because I've been really busy taking over the reins for Thomas Mott as the full-time host on Philadelphia 76ers Now, and now people inside the office are calling me Mr. Philadelphia as the host of Eagles Now and the host of 76ers Now. Make sure you subscribe to both channels so that you can get entertaining and informative analysis on the Birds as well as the Sixers. As you can see, Philadelphia Eagles Now closing in on 32,000 subs, and for Sixers Now trying to get to 10K. And on Saturday night, our first ever watch party on Eagles Now as they take on the Miami Dolphins after a couple of joint practices throughout this week in Miami Gardens, Florida. It's literally going to be a party. Play-by-play, audience interaction, taking down some beers and taking some shots with all of the homies. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and join us for our watch party. Going to go live probably 15 to 30 minutes prior to kickoff on Saturday night. I hope I see all of you Fly Eagles Fly fans over there on the channel. All right, let's officially begin the show. No more football talk. I know a lot of you are going to comment that in the comment section, but it's Philadelphia, baby. Kevin Durant, he is going to return to the Nets, but prior to him returning to Brooklyn, according to Shams Charania, the Sixers did check in on him following that trade request. Here's that report on The Athletic from Shams. The Philadelphia 76ers expressed recent interest in Durant, while the Milwaukee Bucks and Denver Nuggets also inquired with the Nets in late June and early July to gauge the price tag, according to sources. The New Orleans Pelicans inquired with the Nets on June 30th as well, but deemed All-Star Brandon Ingram as untouchable. Also in the past month, the Atlanta Hawks offered John Collins, DeAndre Hunter, and a draft pick for Durant, according to sources. Now, we said this at the time when the Sixers were made aware that Kevin Durant was willing to get traded to Philadelphia, that it was an unrealistic destination from the jump. One, they didn't want to part ways with Tyrese Maxey, and nobody in the city of Philadelphia wanted Daryl Morey to trade him away, but also outside of Tyrese Maxey, didn't have the draft capital. You gave that up in that trade for James Harden, and when it comes to player capital, the Sixers were also lacking there. And I've said this all along as well. For KD to go back to Brooklyn, if he's about winning championships and competing deep into the playoffs, and if he wants to have a competitive team, the Nets have been able to put that together. I think this Nets roster is really good. Now you're looking at a starting five that will feature Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Nicholas Claxton back in free agency, the fraud Ben Simmons, and either Joe Harris or Seth Curry at that 2 spot, depending on which way you want to go there. If you're Steve Nash, I don't think you can go wrong. I'd honestly probably go Seth Curry. I think he's the better and more efficient three-point shooter, but the bench is also really good. Royce O'Neal, TJ Warren coming over this offseason. O'Neal via trade, Warren, 20 points per game, bucket getter coming over in free agency. You have Patty Mills as well with some of the draft picks that they have last year, like Cam Thomas. So I think this Nets current lineup is really good, and for Durant, from a basketball situation perspective, it's wise for him to go back, and I think those were a part of the conversations he had with this agent, Rich Kleiman. And then you look at the Sixers starting five. You put Kevin Durant on this lineup, you probably lose Tyrese Maxey, maybe even Tobias Harris, but a three-headed monster of the beard, Joel Embiid, KD would certainly be scary with PJ Tucker. But even without KD, I still think the Sixers team is in a really good position. They bulked up their starting five with PJ Tucker, toughness, defense, rebounding, a guy who's played in a bunch of big playoff games, so they certainly needed that, and intestinal fortitude, to be honest, and you bulked up your bench with the Anthony Melton. So I think the Sixers have improved from last year, just like the Brooklyn Nets have improved as well. Now, this is another question that I do have for the audience. Who would win in a 7-game playoff series? Because this could realistically be a matchup going into the playoffs next year. S for the Sixers, N for the Nets. Once again, voice your opinions and predict the outcome of this potential series in the comment section right now. From KD to his former teammate in James Harden. I saw this picture circulating out there on the internet, and as we're about to talk about Tyrese Maxey, made that appearance on NBC Sports Philadelphia during the Phillies-Reds game and said some awesome things that we'll relay here just around the corner, but he also alluded to a skinny version of James Harden. Now, I sent this in our Slack group here at work, and a lot of people were actually concerned. They were like, is he anorexic? What happened? Is he okay? Because you look at his biceps from a year ago up until now with this picture, and it looks as though he's lost a lot of muscle. What James Harden needed to do was lose a lot of weight. Now, I think that the angle of the pictures isn't working to his advantage. Harden is looking maybe a little bit too skinny. Maybe he puts on some weight over the next couple of weeks heading into NBA training camp, which is coming up around the corner as well in September. I just wanted to see James Harden shed some lbs, and it looks as though he's been able to do that. Tyrese Maxey confirming it last night during the Phillies broadcast alongside Tom McCarthy and John Kruk. Now, I've also talked about this in the lead-up to this upcoming season and after last year. For Harden to be better and to have a better version of himself this upcoming season as compared to last year when he flamed out at the end of that Heat series, he needed to come into camp in shape. Looks as though he's doing that. From the pickup runs, he also looked pretty good. Needed to get the hamstring figured out. Hopefully he's been able to do that. Maybe he felt disrespected. Maybe he felt embarrassed with the playoff showing, but also he looked in the mirror and looked down at his gut and said, yeah, I need to lose some weight, but also I took a huge pay cut to come back for us to compete for another championship. I got to get healthy. I got to lose weight. Hopefully he did that. And with that, hopefully he finishes stronger around the rim and becomes a better catch-and-shoot three-point guy as he continues to evolve his game. And at times, it's going to be best for Philadelphia for him to be the third offensive option behind Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. Before we get to Tyrese Maxey, if you're subscribed to us here on the channel, I want you to show us in the comment section right now by typing Real One. We greatly appreciate all of your support over the last year and change since I started this channel inside the walls here at Chat Sports. And if you haven't subscribed, do so right now for year-round Sixers coverage and analysis. And the Real One movement has been so real, I hit up the bosses and I said, we got to make this into some t-shirts. And we have a couple of Sixers colors available if you head to chatsports.com/realone. Red shirts, blue shirts, black shirts, all available. You just have to plug in that link down below. Really high-quality shirts, that cotton polyester blend. We're going to be rocking ours soon, so get yours today, maybe even before me, by heading to chatsports.com/realone right now. To Tyrese Maxey now to kind of round out the show. Hopped on that Phillies broadcast as they did something unique like they've been doing the last couple of years, broadcasting the game from left field. Nick Maton with the walk-off and Bryson Stott with another big hit in the ninth inning to tie the game after that awful Phillies bullpen without Sir Anthony Dominguez once again nearly blew another game like they did on Sunday and that wild one against the New York Mets. But a really cool appearance for Tyrese Maxey. And coming down the stairs from left field, there was a standing ovation for him. And the seas really just parted for Tyrese Maxey to come into the first row and chop it up with the guys here. And has an athlete been able to make a quicker impression and have the fans fall in love with him more fast than Tyrese Maxey, at least in recent memory? I mean, it really has been unbelievable what's transpired and how much Philadelphia loves this kid with the way that he plays and just that trademark smile. And he said this, which just makes you gush about him. The fan base in Philadelphia is amazing. It's second to none. Just the hardworking people that are always at the Wells Fargo Center. They work extremely hard to get there. It just makes me real comfortable and feels like Philadelphia is home. And for Tyrese, hopefully Philadelphia is going to be home for a long while. Sixers aren't going to trade you for Kevin Durant. Hopefully they don't trade you. Hopefully you can stay healthy. Hopefully you can continue to improve and ball out for this Sixers franchise that has not made it past the second round since the 2001 playoffs. Also, somebody did something just disgusting the other day. I was on Instagram, and they brought back the Kawhi Leonard quadruple bounce, putting a family in shambles with this 5-year-old who was inconsolable. He couldn't even speak. He was crying so hard. And I'm like, it's not even a year anniversary or a 3-year anniversary of this happening. Why are we bringing this back up on my social media feed? I was hurt by it, and I almost went into tears as well. Either way, Tyrese, we love you. And to show some love to Tyrese Maxey, put his jersey number in the chat. Spam that piece as much as possible. Just type 0. As always, appreciate you guys for watching today's show. I promise you, the delays in videos won't be extended like they were with this show. I just been busy cooking up heaters on Philadelphia Eagles now and getting my feet wet with taking over those host responsibilities. YouTube.com/76ers TV. Sixers Country. Let's ride.